Welcome to Tony's Bonsai. Today I'm going to be doing some work on my beech forest. A few videos ago, well, it was more than a few videos ago, I removed the wire that I'd attached to the base of these trees, which was designed to hold them in position. And since then it's grown on really well. The only problem is I've got two trees that have died, so I'm going to take those out. This tree here, for some reason, it's just done nothing. And it's dead. I suspect perhaps it didn't get enough water, or who knows really, but no fine roots on it. It's just died. Just one of those things in a group. Sometimes that happens. Now there's one more around here, this one on this side also. This one's a bit of a shame because this was a really nice tree and it was close to this other one, so it was like a pair of trees next to each other. Maybe that's why this one didn't make it. And all I'm going to do is just grab it at the base, support the tree next to it, and just like and then just push that soil down like that. Yeah, it's as if it were never there. Love it. There is the odd little bit of dead, the odd dead branch here and there, but really very little, to be honest. It's looking quite healthy. I'm just removing these tips that have died off. That's it really, only a couple. But what I do need to do now is chop the height of this tree down. When I initially did this planting, I used bare root stock from a local nursery, and there was really, well, my hornbeams I cut down before I made the planting, but this one I wanted them to just grow, be healthy, and so I didn't remove any height off them, but they definitely need bringing back down now. So that's kind of today's job really. I've gone into voiceover mode now because I was having some problems with my microphone. It was getting very crackly and I hate bad audio footage. So these next couple of scenes I'm just going to do a voiceover. I return to my microphone a bit later, but all I'm really showing you here is one of the main trees at the front that I decided to chop down. I chopped it just above that branch that goes off to the right hand side, just to lower the overall height of the composition down. Again, this is one of the thinner branches, one of the thinner trees should I say, that goes off to the side and it forks into two. So I just remove one of the two forks and I allowed the leader to become one of the ones that's going into the copse. And as you can see here now, I'm beginning to develop a sort of shape to the canopy, which is the whole idea of this pruning process. There's one of the major trees here, which is one of the large ones going up, and I really just decide to chop it again with my hybrid cutters just to remove it down to the same sort of height as the other ones. It's really just a question at this stage of working my way around, working my way through all the individual trees and just trying to develop that overall canopy. So I'm removing the odd branch. This is one of the shorter trees here. And because it was already short and it had already split into two lower down, I had to remove about 3 or 4 of the main leaders because it didn't really have one main leader. And I was quite happy not to have all the trees long and tall, to have a varied type of tree, just to add some interest. Because if you walk around any forest, you know, it's never a question of just all one type of tree. Even though these are all beech trees, in a natural environment, I would expect them all to be different shapes, almost with different personalities. So I'm selecting again one of the major branches at the top to prune, and it kind of brings me round now I thought it did anyway. Oh no, we're not at the big one in the centre yet. This is another of the smaller ones. And I'm just, again, make the decision of where to cut. Cut just above a decent branch. And that was quite a low cut, but that's okay again. You know, I don't want them all cut to exactly the same height. I think this is now the big one. Here we go. And I've zoomed in close so you can see me actually chop this. A bit higher up, there's a little bit of inverse taper, which I definitely want to get in below. So I decided to cut it below all those branches. And that was a nice clean cut. Having got rid of all that dead wood, I'm going to just trim some of this foliage back. These long extensions that have gone too far, they just need removing. To allow some light into the centre really. And as I've shared on other videos, I love doing this kind of pruning. Just with my scissors. It's not too critical really, a lot of this kind of stuff. That'd make a good, that really wants kind of wiring upwards, I think. In fact, I'm going to take that off because it's kind of, having thought about it, this one here, it's a bit awkward. And there's a nice branch below it that'll make a good leader there. So those initial cuts, you know, they're just the first design, rough design. As we work our way around, I can always change which branches I want to keep and which ones I want to shorten. Now, I've got a branch here that's coming right into the middle. It is a nice branch, but it's getting too long, so I'll cut that back. And really, it's hard to show on camera, but the sort of central part of this tree, it's all a bit too dense really, and some of these branches need either removing, but certainly cutting back just for the time being. In the winter, when I can see more of what's actually going on inside, what I will do is I'll do a proper pruning off of those branches. But for now, I definitely just needed to do just a little bit like this, just to get things under control, to allow some light into the centre. And what do you think of this? Do you think that's got some potential, or think it's a bit messy? I love these forest compositions, these group plantings. I think they're great. I think the classic philosophy, sort of bonsai philosophy, is you're not supposed to attempt these group plantings really until you've mastered individual trees. And I suspect that's good advice, but you know, I don't always take advice. I often just do what I want to do. Yeah, and these are all growing really strongly, as you can see by how much I'm removing. You know, I'm taking loads of growth off here, and it's by no means bare. Yeah, definitely looking better now, this. I've been a bit hesitant about doing this job, really, because I do like this planting, and I was concerned really about messing it up if I'm honest. But like all bonsai, you just have to get stuck in and have a go. And that's the beauty of working with this kind of material from garden centres. You know, these individual trees, they probably, I think, only cost me, say, £3 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 remaining. There were 9 initially. So it's cost me sort of £30. And I'm lucky now, I suppose, to have 7 remaining trees. That's quite a good number in bonsai. There's a bit of moss that I'll remove in there. Yeah, it'll definitely do better now that the light can penetrate deeper into this. I'm sure it's going to do better because of that. And every now and again, I find some long branch that's weaving its way through, and they're the ones that I really want to sort of cut back and get in control. I think I'm getting there now. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but that's it's beginning to take a nice shape now. I'll just have a look from above. Sometimes when you change the angle, your perspective, you can see things a bit differently, and there's a few that I can see here that need cutting that I couldn't see from lower down, so it is nice to look at it from different angles. Yeah, there's quite a lot. Having changed my point of view, definitely a bit more to be cut off. Oh, that's great. Really happy with this, how this is progressing. And although it would have been nice if those 2 trees didn't die, I've always said with forests, I don't mind the odd tree dying off, because it creates a sort of a randomness that you find in nature. It's very difficult to create yourself, because by instinct we're drawn to order, and sometimes by just allowing nature to do its thing and be random as it is, it can do a better job than us. There. It's interesting how it's almost just naturally formed this kind of shape, which is the shape I want. This kind of copse of trees with the apex in the middle coming down. And that's worked out nicely, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this develops over the coming years. If you'd like to see that progression, hit subscribe. But as always, thanks for joining me, and have a great day.